Mona, if I have employer coverage and I'm retiring, when should I apply for Medicare?
It's actually a very good question. But before I answer it, I'd like you to go to your HR department and ask them if they have retiree benefits options. That will determine if you need Medicare in the first place and what your options are. If they offer it, great. Then ask them if you still need to have Medicare and if it's costing you any money. And then you can get back to me and I can help you better because Medicare is not free. You have to pay for Part B. And if your employer doesn't require it, then you could be saving yourself some money. So knowing that as an option is great. And then you should also ask if it's totally free, complimentary by your employer, or you have to contribute a portion to that. So those are decisions that I can help you with once you get back to me with the facts about what your options are. But in general, employer benefits are much richer and better for you than going on private Medicare, but I don't know if you have those options available to you. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yes, it did. Should I keep my employer coverage or go on Medicare?
Okay, so once you know you have options, that would be a next great question because is it free? Do you have to pay for it? How much do you have to pay? And is it an HMO or a PPO plan? So again, evaluating the type of benefits you have and the costs, it would be another thing I'd love to help you with, but you need to tell me, are you paying for it? How much? And what type of coverage you have? And then I can help you make a better decision.
What type of coverage should I get? An HMO or a PPO?
Wow, you have great questions. I love it when people ask me questions. I can help them better. HMO and PPO is obviously totally different. It depends if you already have an HMO, then you're used to it, and then we can check and see if your doctor is in the network. Then you have that option. That's great because it saves you money. If you already have currently a PPO, then I would highly encourage you to keep it if you can afford it. And then you can tell me your age, what plan you have, and then I can tell you how much it will cost you. But then again, it's a matter of preference sometimes. Some people just totally hate HMO, they don't like that. Some people do not, like the PPO, but they can't afford it. So it depends on what you currently have and what you're comfortable with. Then I can help you make that decision.
When can I change my coverage if I make the wrong decision?
Okay. During open enrollment is typically from October 15 to December 7 is when you can make changes. If you make a decision during open enrollment and then decide, oh my God, I made the wrong decision, what was I thinking? You can cancel that coverage from January 1st to February 14, but however, you cannot enroll in another HMO plan. You will be only option available to you at that time would be to pay for a supplement if you don't want to be just on Medicare. But so again, depending on also when, if you're retiring and making a change or during open enrollment, but in general, those are the two times of year that you can make a change.
When I turn 65, Mona, when should I apply for Medicare?
You can apply for Medicare 3 months before you turn 65. And the reason you want to do that, Medicare is getting bombarded with people turning 65. 10,000 people a day turning 65. So if you wait to the last minute, you can do it. It'll just take you a very long time to get it processed through the system. So I highly encourage you to and go in person if you can, make an appointment, call Medicare, make an appointment so you don't have to stay in the long lines, and go apply in person because if you apply online, you can, but if anything is missing or not there or incomplete or they need to see proof of anything, they will not get back to you. It's going to leave it up to you to check online, and they don't communicate back to you. So you just stay in limbo and wonder, where is my Medicare card? So you don't want to do that. So I hardly always encourage people to apply. You can start the process online and then go in person if you want, but I always encourage you to follow up and check. And 3 months before is the earliest you can apply so that you make sure you get that nice card with A and B on it before your birthday. because then you can start your coverage the first month of your birthday month.
Thank you, Mona. That helps me a lot in order to make a decision for Medicare.
Yes, and please free to keep my name and number and call me at any time with any other questions that maybe you forgot to ask me today, because there is a lot of questions when it comes to Medicare, and I meet with you and go over the whole thing with you so you don't have to read that big thick book that you get in the mail, Medicare and You. It's difficult, and people find it overwhelming, and it doesn't have to be that way. So if we meet and sit one-on-one, I'll give you the simple version, answer all your questions, explain how Medicare works, Part A, Part B, what you need to have to also help you avoid penalties, because people think, oh, I'm healthy, I don't need Medicare, or I don't need prescription drug. Then later on you find out, oh my goodness, there is penalties for not enrolling on time. And people sometimes don't even give me the time of day to explain to them that yes, you may not be taking prescriptions, but if you don't enroll in prescription drug plan, which is Part D, you'll be facing penalties for the rest of your life. The penalties don't go away, unfortunately, at the time of enrollment. So if I've met people in their 80s, they never enrolled in prescription drug plan, then they calculate their penalty and they're looking at $30 to $40 a month in penalties for all that time they were without prescription drugs. So do yourself a favor, don't do that, and call me with any other questions.